last example, example 2, and we're going to be doing solving trig equations for like the next 2 weeks. So if this is kind of mucky, it's okay. Write down questions. We're going to have a Zoom discussion. I wish I was here in person because it'd be easier to teach this. But we have 2 sine theta plus the square root of 3 equals 0. Now this time our interval is from 0 to 2 pi. So I solve it the exact same way as we did the other example. I think in degrees, and then I go ahead and convert it to radians. But since they're giving us the interval in radians, we have to give our answer in radians. So again, we have to isolate sine. So we isolate sine by subtracting the square root of 3. So I have 2 sine theta equals negative square root of 3. Then I have to divide by 2. So sine theta equals negative root 3 over 2. So you might pause it and think, is this going to be a 45, 45, 90 triangle or a 30, 60, 90 triangle? Okay, so if you were thinking 30, 60, 90, yes, because that has square root of 3 in it. So I'm going to go ahead and draw out my quadrant. I need to figure out where sine is going to be negative. So I have all students take calculus. The abbreviations tell me in which quadrants they're positive. So sine is positive in the second and the first quadrant. So I know I'm going to have an answer in the third and the fourth quadrant, which makes sense because we're going down. So whenever I make my angle, the opposite would be negative, opposite over hypotenuse. So we have opposite over hypotenuse. So I'm going to put my hypotenuse 2 right here, and my opposite negative root 3 right here. And just to complete it, I'm going to go ahead and put negative 1 right here because that would complete the triangle. So I know across to the square root of 3 is 60 degrees. And so I would have 180 plus 60 degrees equals 240 degrees. That's one answer. But now I have to turn it into radians. And remember, to turn something into radians, you have to take it and take 240 degrees, multiply by 180 over pi. So times 180, or sorry, times pi over 180. Whoops, my bad. Because we want to go to radians, not to degrees. Times pi over 180. The zeros cancel, and then they're both divisible by 6. 6 goes into 24 4 times. 6 goes into 18 3 times. So in radians, it's 4 pi over 3. Next, I need to look at my answer that would be right here in the fourth quadrant, because sine is also negative there. So the fourth quadrant answer, I hope you guys can see down here, is again, my opposite needs to be the negative square root of 3. My hypotenuse is 2, and just for completeness, I'm going to write 1 here. Across from the square root of 3 is always 60. And so that makes my answer, it's almost a full circle, but it's 60 degrees short. So 360 minus 60 gives us 300 degrees as our second answer. I have to convert that to radians, so I'm going to take 300 degrees and multiply it by pi over 180. So the zeros cancel. I've got 30 over 18, again both divisible by 6. 30 divided by 6 is 5. Over 18 divided by 6 is 3. So 5 pi over 3 is my second answer. So my two answers are 4 pi over 3 and 5 pi over 3. Try the homework. There's, I think, 4 problems. They're supposed to be set out like dominoes, but if you can't do that, just work the or work the 4 problems and then see if you can find the answer on a different domino, and then come back with questions, okay? Hope to see you guys soon. Miss you all. Bye.